mad at me. He texted me and said, "You're a hoe for that," because I said I was going to wear this shirt.
Also, I like how he said you're a hoe for that, and not anything on this podcast, just specifically for the shirt.
He doesn't always listen to the podcast because he finds it weird.
And he should.
If he was making a podcast, I wouldn't find it weird. I would listen to it.
And that's the difference between men and women, especially brothers and sisters. It doesn't work both ways.
Is that a man and woman thing, or is that a Kristen thing?
No, if my sister had a podcast in the same version, I wouldn't listen to it.
But would she listen to you?
I don't know. I guess I haven't asked her.
That's what I'm saying. I think we need the women to sound off. Would you listen to a podcast that your sibling did?
Yeah. We need everybody to sound off.
Yeah.
Because brothers, I think you're with me. Like, you're not listening to your sister talk about how she out here fucking all these dudes.
Right.
And sisters, you're like, hey, I just want him to find a nice girl that will love him.
I suspect it's just me who doesn't care. But
nah, I think you're not alone.
Maybe people are out here and...
No, I think you got a little army.
Then we should be friends, so you should hit me up.
Slide in her DMs.
But anyway, my brother texted me and said, "You're a hoe for wearing this shirt." And I was like, I don't care. Because what happened is that he has the same shirt. He had it before me.
It's a nice shirt.
He has it in purple. And I'm notorious for being like, you can't stain me. Like, don't copy me. So when I ordered the shirt, I was drunk. I ordered the shirt while we were hanging out. And he said,
"Oh wait, what's the company name again?"
It's called Sad as Duck.
Yeah.
It's an Instagram brand. I'm like really shouting them out right now. I probably shouldn't be giving them this much free press, but I don't care. It's really
cool. Let them get.
I thought it was a perfect quarantine shirt.
It definitely is
because it's like quarantine. Like Saturdays are lame now.
I know, right? Saturdays used to be for the boys. Now it's for the ducks.
Sad as Duck. No, but his response was, "This coming from the person." Like, I ordered the shirt and he was like, "This coming from the person that said," and I quote, and this is true, I really did say this, "If you order a yellow Nintendo Switch Lite, I will fucking kill you." Because I have a yellow.
Yeah, I see the Switch. I see the Switch. So wait, but if you ordered a different color, it'd be okay.
Correct.
But it can't. So like
but only because it's a Switch and people have to buy a Switch.
Yeah. So, but
if it was a shirt and it was reversed and he ordered the shirt and I had it first, I would kill him. So basically, I'm petty.
So,
but it's fine.
When you slide in her DMs, don't show up with that shirt. Don't, even though she wasn't even.
If it's accidental, I would take that as a sign and probably.
Unless you actually work for the company, then it's okay. Then obviously.
Which the guy that does the company is kind of hot. He's on Instagram. You can find him. I'm not going to shout him out anymore. This is too much. Too much.
I'm not going to look for him, so it's fine. Don't you worry about it. I'm not going to look for him. But no, okay. And actually, since you out here doing shout outs, I do have to give a shout out to my man Alan Baines. The guy, the ghosting king, actually.
Oh, really?
Yes, he is the ghosting king, even though he'll deny. He is the ghosting king, and he had commented that I hadn't given him a shout yet, and I thought I did, but maybe I didn't, but you know, the magic of editing and all that, whatever. So he's getting the shout today, and that's one of my best friends. He's a great dude. Unfortunately, he's kind of a ghoster, so girls keep his attention.
Unfortunately, as if it's fine. Once we start doing guests, once COVID is over, we'll have to have him on to be on my side with the ghosting.
I'm sure he's gonna be 100% on your side because he's against me in everything.
He hot?
In life.
Well, I like it.
He actually beats a decent amount of your criteria.
Is he tall?
Actually. Yeah, he's tall enough for you. He's tall. Like, he's not 7 foot tall, and you can't teach that. But he's tall enough. But yeah, we'll talk about that off wax. That's fine.
Yeah, we can't be getting too much into this. I'd be putting myself out there too much.
I had to give him some love.
I was talking to some guy the other day, and he like had heard the podcast, and he was like telling me something related to the ghosting episode, and I was kind of like, "Oh, what did you do?" Like, I was like asking like really probing questions about a situation that he was in, and then I had to be like, "Wait, my bad. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not trying to like be nosy. Like, the podcast is making me so nosy. I find myself like talking to people, and then I'm like, "Oh, did you fuck this bitch?" And like da 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 da, and then you ghosted, and what happened, and what did you do, and how did you feel about it? Which I kind of was already like before we started doing this podcast, but now I'm like extra bad about it.
No, actually, like even my boy like had said something about listening to the ghosting episode, and he was like, "Oh, so you wouldn't feel some type of way if you didn't know them, huh? Interesting." And I was like, "Are you trying to call me out right now? Like, if you want to challenge, like, get your ass on the pot, you can say it to my face, like."
People really do. My friends are starting to get worried that I'm going to put them on blast on the podcast. We were hanging out the other day, and my friend was like, I don't know if I should say this. Kristen's going to talk about me on the podcast. I was like,
you damn right.
Everything is copy. I might.
See, nah.
So our topic this week is, what are we calling it? Degrees of separation.
Yep. Something near and dear to your heart.
Oh, near and dear. This topic, I feel a real type of way about this. Yeah, we'll get into it. So there are many levels, right? So we're talking about degrees of separation. We're talking about people that you're dating or could potentially date, and like their relationship to you in the greater network of the human connection.
Like what's okay, what's not okay.
Right.
Like, bro code, girl code kind of thing. Like, but not necessarily the full
Right.
code, just
Right.
the situation.
So I think we should start with like the most like closest / unacceptable, and then like work our way out, right? So
like the worst possible
the
thing?
worst possible thing.
Well, I mean, I feel like that's easy. That's your best friend and or I guess sibling.
The sibling is worse. The sibling's worse.
Well, the only thing I would say about the sibling is that, like, because I don't have any like brothers. Like, I have people that I consider brothers, but like not like actual blood brothers. So like that would be my situation.
So
like,
you're not accustomed.
You dating your brother or sister's ex.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's like, to me, that's like,
that's the top. That's the top worst thing.
Yo, like I love the term Eskimo brother. You know Eskimo?
Yes,
okay,
yes.
For those who know Eskimo brothers, like y'all slept with the same person,
right?
Or Eskimo sister, or whatever. I'm cool with having an Eskimo brother. I don't need my Eskimo brother to be my real brother.
That just adds an extra layer of just
or
like,
real sister. Like that's a little bit like, yo, unless it was like some crazy night in Vegas, like hey, everybody have fun. Like okay, that's about the only thing I can think of. But
there's no if it's some crazy night and you're fully aware of the situation going into it, that's on you. Like you got to come to terms with that and seek Jesus in your own time. Like,
correct, but that's also different. I don't think that it probably isn't meeting the same level of disrespect that we're talking about.
Right? No, we're talking about your sibling or like somebody who's your friend who's as close as a sibling is date somebody and then you or reversed date that person after the fact. Like, is there any scenario in which this is acceptable?
Yes, but I think it's very, very specific.
So rare. It's so rare.
It's got to be something where, I mean, basically, you guys got to be old. Like, it's got to be like maybe they dated.
So you're saying the time?
Yeah, 100%. It's only time. Time's the only thing. And I'm thinking, at least for guys, I feel like you got to go almost half a decade, maybe a decade. Like,
right.
Because it's got to be like, oh, maybe you guys dated in high school or something, maybe dated freshman year in college. And now it's like, I didn't really know that person, but obviously I know you, like, as my homie, brother, whatever. And I heard of this girl. Mm-hmm. Ends up, whatever, not working out. Because I didn't have any interactions with her or had very little interactions with her, I had no feelings about it. We flash forward to like 7 years later. Maybe we're moved to different cities or something like that. Link up, it becomes a thing. That's kind of the only way I can see it working. But even then, to be honest, it's always in the back of your mind.
Sure.
So I feel like you said, it's very rare. Like, to get that out of the back of your mind in terms of starting a relationship.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to lie. I know guys, like, yeah, they'll hook up with the girl. Like, that's
right.
Whatever. Like, if my guy gets with somebody
if enough
who's attractive,
time has passed, if it's like you're going behind your friend's back and you know they
then
feel
you're
some
just
type of way,
dirty. Then you're just dirty.
Then you're just a shitty friend.
But like, as far as like just sleeping with them, while that's not great, I can see that happening a lot more.
Sure.
But as far as an actual relationship,
yeah,
man, it's gotta be a lot. And like I said, like you said, actually rare. And I said long time. Like it can't be something where it's been like a year or 2 years.
You kind of touched on something that I think is actually more important than the time, which is I think it makes a really big difference if you met the person through that relationship or not.
100%.
So like if it's your boy and they dated a long time ago, it's the time doesn't matter as much if you met the girl through them dating. Because then it becomes like, oh, well.
Yeah, it's like they put you on.
Yeah, and that's just like weird and like a thing. Like if it's one thing if like one time I had a friend who dated a guy that I dated first, but it was like a total non-issue because they met per chance way after we had dated. Furthermore, like my relationship with the guy wasn't that deep. It was just like maybe like 2 steps above fuck
like
buddies. Like there was definitely some mutual like care there, but like nothing crazy.
You never looked at him like that's gonna be my guy,
right?
Yeah,
right. So then that fizzled out, and
Poor
then
guy.
you know, over a year later, she like met him totally by chance. I mean, by chance, like obviously we kind of all ran in the same circles, and that's why they met. So like
but
by
when
chance
y'all
is a
were
relative
together,
term.
as
She
far
wasn't
as
in the
you
picture
knew,
at all. Yeah.
She didn't know anything about
Right.
y'all.
So then they met, and I was like,
that's different.
I basically was like, I mean, I was like, go ahead, just so you know, I fucked him. So like you decide.
Like, just so you know, I pissed on that territory, but I mean, I don't use it no more. So do what you want with it.
No, but I mean, it was fine, and there was like no issue. Now, I don't think that. See, this is what's actually funny, and I didn't put this in the notes, but I don't think that he knew that me and her were friends, and we were roommates. So he came over, and I was there.
Oh.
And I think he was like very taken aback. He recovered very well. He recovered quickly, but
Yeah, that's like my freshman year. My roommate, who was some random dude I had never met. Shout out to the marching band guy. That's all I'll call him. And I didn't know that he hooked up with this girl. And I started hollering, because I told you, our dorms through the intergender dorms.
Yep. We got the intergender
So
dorm.
I went to the other hallway, started hollering at this girl, because I was at first being a wingman for a homie, and then it just snowballed.
Yep.
I come to find out one day when she comes back to my room, they had already hooked up.
Yikes.
And to make matters worse,
I feel like college is where like people just literally like hook up with each other,
which is fine. But to make matters worse, she had stolen his V card.
Ooh.
And then me and her ended up like actually dating, and it was like super awkward because I was like, by the time I found out that like they had like done anything, we were like
tight. Did he
we were
like
like
really
months into like talking.
Did he feel a way about it or not really?
100%. Like,
yeah,
like we had our like one-on-one conversation. Like, he was just like, he's like, it is what it is. Like, obviously, like nothing went, further with us.
But still,
that's
brutal.
And I was like, damn. And I like felt kind of bad, like even though we were never tight, so it was whatever. But like,
still,
I did feel kind of like a dick.
Yeah.
But I mean,
that's stressful.
hey, if it makes him feel any better, like she married now with some dude, like not
right,
me.
neither one of you.
I was saying, neither just stay with us, so it's cool. But like, yeah, that was probably the most like, awkward. Like, yeah, my bad.
So time and way that you meet are 2 huge factors.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I can say definitively, because I've done this, is that if you're just like peripherally friends with the girl in my case or the guy in your case, like she was like a peripheral friend, and I was like, nah, I'm more interested in this guy than I am in her friendship. So if you're like, if it's somebody who's not that important to you and you're just like, nah.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. There's levels to this. If you got a circle, and everybody's got their circle, however big or small.
Yeah.
And this person just happens to be a little thing on the outside.
Yeah.
Then I don't feel like it's crossing the line because again, they're outside the circle.
Mm-hmm.
But you should make sure, or at least I think you should probably make sure that person outside isn't very tight with anyone on the inside of your circle.
Oh, she was pissed.
Of course.
She was mad at me. I told her that I was gonna do this.
Oh, you preemptively strike.
Kinda, because
I didn't preempt
because I didn't want her to think I was not trying to be sneaky. I was
just trying to be disrespectful.
No, I was just trying to be like,
that ain't yours no more. I'm gonna go and get that.
I don't know what I was doing. It was
I
don't know. I just didn't want her to. I didn't want it to become this dramatic thing of like she finds out and then like she's like, oh, Kristen tried to hide it from me.
How
like,
could
blah,
you
blah,
do
blah,
that?
blah,
Da-da-da.
Like the point I was kind of trying to make is like we're not that close. Like, and also like, do you really care about this guy? Like, da 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 da. Like, I think if she had been like, giving me the vibe that there was some unresolved thing between them, or she was like so hurt by it. Because that was the other thing going on, is that I was like, she dumped him. So I was just like, I feel like that plays a difference too, of just like,
oh yeah, how did the relationship end?
Yeah.
100%. And if they controlled it, and that's the person that the person that controlled that situation, again, I'm still about like I said, the time or whatever, but I do agree, like, hey, if you chose to end it for whatever reason, and honestly, your reason is your business, it doesn't have to be mine.
Right.
But if you chose to end it, and I find that person for whatever, and I'm cool, then I'm cool. Like, that's just.
I was honestly shocked that she even cared. Like, I was only telling her because I thought she was going to be more mad about the fact that it was like a secret. So I was like, I don't think she's going to even care that I'm like talking to this guy. I wasn't even. I mean, who knows what I was doing? I was probably just trying to hook up with him. I think he still had unresolved feelings towards her, if I'm being honest. This is a long time ago. In any case, I thought that, I was like, she doesn't care about this guy anymore, but she might be mad at me because I hid it. So
you're
that's
like, let me
why
be real.
I went to her. Normally, I would be like, I wouldn't do that. But I was just like, if I just say like, hey, just so you know, so-and-so is like kind of talking to me. Like, she'll be like, oh, thanks for telling me. Like, I don't care. I broke up with him. And she was pissed. And I was just like, well, and then in that moment, in that conversation, I had to like make the choice then and there.
And I always wonder that, because I don't know what's better. Because I always wondered how women deal with it. Because like, even the conversation I was saying with my freshman roommate, like, even as awkward and probably even anger that I felt like from him that I knew was there, it never became a thing where we actually like
had it out,
yelled at each other or anything. It was like we had a awkwardly calm conversation. Now again, this was a country bumpkin white boy from like the middle of nowhere, Michigan. So like, I'm probably one of his first black friends in his whole life. So it probably felt some type of way in that way. But I mean, dude was like twice my size. Like, if he wanted to beat my ass, he could have just beat my ass. Like, it was fine.
But he clearly didn't.
But yes, he did not. But like, we didn't go at it like that. And I'm sure there was some passive aggressive things that we kind of did in the room together or whatever. But like, for the most part, it was pretty fucking chill.
And this is yet another thing. Like, this is a regular occurring theme with me. I never can tell if this. I never can tell if it's like this is how like women are, or if this is just a Kristen thing. Like this.
You are an anomaly.
And like,
I get to your anomaliness,
like, and my friends can attest. Like, I will fucking tell you if I'm like, you know me. I just be saying stuff. Like,
if you out there, you out there. It is what
I can't keep secrets. Like, I say things all the time. Like, that's why I didn't want to like hide this from this girl, because I was just like, I'm gonna say something.
Take note, guys. She said you can't keep secrets. So just FYI.
So like, I don't know, but I would say that is probably the most accurate reason I can think of for why you would date a friend's ex, is if you didn't really care about that friend. Yeah. There are other situations, like you said, there are
there's always
caveats. Caveats about like your actual good friend or whatever. Mm-hmm. But the general, and I would say almost 100% of the time, rule for like your homie, like your close friend, there are other fish in the sea, motherfucker. This is what I don't understand with people. Like, why? Like, I don't really believe in soulmates. Like, that's part of it, is that I'm just like, it's fine.
Man,
like,
when that guy sweeps you off your feet, I can't wait till Christmas wedding, because I'm probably gonna take a bunch of clips from this podcast and just turn them into a nice little long little reel. I'm not even gonna have a speech. I'm just gonna be like, hey, play this real quick. It's gonna be like 20 minutes of just shit she said, and I'll be like, hey, bro, that's you for the rest of your life, okay? Hey, like,
and he'll already know.
I know. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
But no, I mean, seriously, like, when you like have that. Everybody has a decision at the point. We've already talked about this. For the guy, it's like, what, 30 seconds? And I was like, it takes longer than 5 minutes. Right.
I'm like,
so whatever. Everybody has that point where they make the decision that they want to pursue someone. At the point that you're considering this in your mind about your friend's ex, why? Why? There's so many people. Like, the next person that walks by, like, focus those thoughts towards them and see if they like feel the same way. And it's just like, well, then you know it's not like legitimately that person. It's just that you think they're hot. Like, just because the standard of thinking someone's hot, like, put your friend above that thought. Like, it's just a waste of your time. It's causing you more drama.
I want to start what I'm about to say by saying that I agree with you.
Yeah, 'cause I'm going off. I think I'm
no,
kind of drunk.
No, she good. Stop. She ain't even had no shots yet. She good, guys. But I want to start off with saying I'm agree with you. I'd like to just hit that devil's advocate though, really quickly, just really quickly. When you say you see your friend's ex and you say move that energy to the next, next bitch, next dude, whatever.
Yeah.
But what if they hotter than that person? Like, I think that a lot of these situations, unfortunately, especially depending on how, well, unfortunately, doesn't matter. Depending on how old you are, where it is, they kind of happen to involve the wonderful devil's juice.
That's true.
And
that's a good point.
I think a lot of those times when you have it, you're like, yo, I remember when you was dating my homie, and I was like, man, this dude's so lucky he's fucking you, da-da-da-da. And now you guys are done. And I was like, he was such a fucking idiot. Like, how could he let you go? Like, I'm just telling you this because I know I've heard it.
You're hitting on a point that I'm going to get to later in the episode, which is like shared history. It encourages the vibes.
Yeah, I respect what you're saying, though. I do agree 100%. If it's in the circle and they truly your friend, you probably shouldn't be pursuing a relationship with that person. But I also will say,
it also
because
depends
I know
on the
someone's
extent of the relationship that they had.
I know someone's gonna come back at me in these comments about this, but I understand, like, the sleeping with them, I'm not as. It happens.
It depends, and also, like, I agree. Now, like, I'm thinking about like my best girlfriend. She like dated a guy for like a long time. Like, I would never. Like, if it like she like lived with him, blah blah blah, like something serious like that.
But do you think he's attractive?
I mean, I don't even want to comment on it because I would just never. I would never.
So see, here's the thing: you've put him like in that zone I hate, that friend zone. Like, you've eliminated him from the possibility of.
But I would argue that in this case, that's a good thing, and that's what you should do.
I'm not saying it's bad. Like, for your guys' relationship, it's the choice. It's the only choice. But I'm just saying, he is not a man then. Like, he's just
exactly
that person.
And that's what I'm getting at. Is like at the point that you decide to start thinking about this person. Like, not even in the interaction with them. Because that you've already decided then. I'm talking about you. The first thought comes in your mind of like, that little nugget of a thought.
Like I said, 30 seconds.
Why?
30 seconds is too quick to think about all those things. Like,
yeah, I know.
You're not wrong, and that's why there's so many women who are so mad about what they call the fuck boys or whatever. Like, they call us dogs.
Yeah.
Like, because we don't go.
You don't think.
We don't go all. I'm not gonna. We think. We just don't think of the consequences. There's a difference.
Oh God.
So we just out here like, you know what? Yeah, you definitely was with my homie, and I respect it. I also respect that you're done, and we're two adults, and we just out here.
I agree that fucking is something different than a full-on relationship.
Yeah, but I will say, if they really your friend, you gotta tell them though.
Who has to tell who?
If I become an Eskimo brother with one of my homies, I have to.
Have to tell.
I have to be the one to tell them.
And I feel like people aren't doing that too either. They don't want to own up to the fucking shit that they did.
No,
they'd be hiding it.
I gotta be the one.
And again, I feel like that's almost that's separately and almost equally as bad as doing it. Yeah, is hiding it. Like, you knew what you fucking did. If it's that, and that's where I'm like, if it's that important to you that you do it, hey,
maybe that friendship's not.
Then
that
maybe
important.
you should, right? Yeah, then maybe you should pursue that person. But if you are trying to hide it, then it's like, first of all, anybody who's trying to hide anything is not necessarily like thinking that the thing that they're hiding is going to last a long time. Because inherently, if you thought it was, then you would be like, I can't hide it.
Mm-hmm. You'd be like, I gotta let the world know.
So that suggests that it's not that big of a deal. And then it's just like,
I'm not. There's no disagreement out here. Again, I'm supporting you in this thought. I'm just saying that.
Yeah.
I know me, and I know guys for the most part. I think I'm pretty well versed in the subject. Unfortunately, we just don't make the best choices. But like I said, that's why I had to make the distinction between having sex and pursuing a relationship.
Well, so then that brings us on to the next kind of step, which is not really in the notes, and we've already kind of touched on it, but I think we need to like go over this
Go
again.
ahead. Please, go ahead.
The siblings' friends. I know you're very for the siblings' friends. I'm still not as convinced, though. I am coming around.
Here's my thing. I'll give you my exact logic on why I think the siblings' friend is 100% okay.
Okay.
Well, I'll say 99%.
Yeah.
So let me start with the 1% that's not okay. Your sibling will have hopefully, if they choose to, will get married someday.
Okay.
They will have a maid of honor best man, a.k.a. someone that they feel is essentially your family.
Correct.
You probably shouldn't do that.
Oh, you said no to that? I was thinking more like you should.
No. That person is probably the only person that I would say that's a no-no, unless you guys met, outside of the relationship with your sibling. Then okay, whatever. It probably naturally works, so it's fine. But if you met through your sibling specifically, I would probably say that's a no-no.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But other than that, like, my sister, you're supposed to love me. If you got a lot of beautiful friends and I ain't got no relationship, you should be out here trying to help me. Tell your single friends to come out here and show a brother some love. Maybe it might turn into something special. You don't know.
But this is so funny because you want your sister to do that for you. It's sort of the same thing as we were just saying about, like, would the sibling listen to the podcast? My brother would never do that for me. He wouldn't be mad at me if I hooked up with one of his friends, but he would not put me on like that.
Correct, and I would never put my sister. I'm 100% hypocritical in the situation. Don't get it twisted. I'd never.
And you're out here being like, my sister should put me on.
Yeah, because she's supposed to love me,
oh,
and I love her, so I know that none of my friends are good enough.
Lume logic.
I know that none of my friends were good enough, so I would never.
Logic in this bitch.
I'm just saying, hey, Lume logic is undefeated, okay, undeniable, as they say. Mm-hmm. I knew from Jump Street, once I got older, like, hey, I love my guys. I've got a pretty decent circle that, like, I've got a pretty good group that I know, like, oh, those are all my groomsmen, right?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't let none of those dudes date my sister.
None of them?
Well, that's not true. One.
Okay.
I'd have let one. But he's also, like, the best of the best. Like,
I find it funny that you always use wedding references because I never picture myself in a traditional wedding scenario ever.
Well, no, we know you just talked about you don't think about a soulmate, so like, how are you gonna get fucking married?
I'm not saying I don't believe in marriage or I don't think I would ever get married. I'm just saying I would never have a wedding.
Another podcast. I'm gonna move on. No, but like,
Can't even touch it. Right
I'm not. I can't touch it right now, like, because it'll be another 2 hours.
Oh, okay. So now we've reached the next level of separation. So we've got the siblings, we've got the friends who are
Friends,
your BFFs,
friends,
so like they're
exes.
like your sibling.
Yep.
We've got the siblings' friends.
Yep.
Now we've got your friends. This is where my tone takes a 180, baby.
She's taking over, guys. I just want you to know she's taking over.
This is where I am taking the exact opposite stance, and I'm saying you should for sure hook up with your friends. This is my belief. I truly, truly feel this to my core, that you should for sure hook up with your friends. Of course, there are some caveats that we'll get into. But as a general standard, if you're looking for a fuck buddy, a relationship, somebody like quarantine, boo, whatever, cuffing season, you need to look at that friends list. I swear to God, that is my true
I just want to clarify for the people, we're not friends. So we're not friends.
You're my work boyfriend. Can't mix business with pleasure.
We not friends. We not friends. It's just business, never personal. You dig?
The best route that you can take in this quarantine that we're in is that you need to like reevaluate people that you have already looked over. This is my sincere belief. I did this once recently in the past month, and it was one of the top 5 days, nights, whatever, like experiences of quarantine.
So when you say reevaluate,
yeah,
can you like that? Like, what is this reevaluation process? So like, what? Just in general, like what was it before? Like,
yeah.
what are you using to reevaluate that you didn't evaluate
all
before?
have these type of friends that like we didn't they were in the friend zone for one reason or another. It might have been simply that you were both in a relationship at the time. That's one thing. You're not
I don't think that's friend zone. I think that's like you're both in a relationship. That's a different. That doesn't count.
Fine, but I'm using friend zone in the sense of just like it's not going to happen. So whatever.
Christian dictionary.
Whatever.
We gotta get this
Can you think
highlighted.
of a different phrase for it's not going to happen? Or should I just use that?
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
Okay. So maybe you're both in a relationship. Maybe one of you is in a relationship. Maybe you are pursuing someone else. Maybe you weren't that close, and so you only see them out, and just like the circumstances of the night didn't dictate that it ever was gonna like amount to something. Time out. Go ahead.
So literally, other than both of you or one of you is in a relationship, everything you're saying right now is just excuses. It's bullshit.
Well,
as a guy, I'm like, I'm saying there's no reevaluation only because as a guy, like I said, we talked about 30 seconds to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Already been there. So like, me not getting with you after whatever time ain't got nothing to do with me.
So you think this is a woman thing? Only that women are the only ones that could reevaluate their stance on a certain person?
I don't think I've met any guy who's not at least thought on the original, like, let's say, first week meeting of whoever the female is, about what it would be like to get with them.
I'm not saying I never had thought about it with this guy. I'm just saying I was never going to act on it in the past.
And again, the only reason, or not the only, but the majority of the time a guy's not going to act on it is because they with somebody. I'm like, if you single, we single. Like, what are we doing? Like, that goes to one of your things you said though. You're pursuing somebody else. If I'm fucking some other bitch, then I guess that's why we're not doing it.
Well, but
that's about it.
I wholeheartedly agree with your point, which is that I'm single, you're single, we're both adults here. What are we doing? Like, that is exactly what I'm saying. That all the women out there should take on that train of mind, in my opinion. Because that's what has led me in my life to like some of the best experiences and relationships I've had. And I don't mean relationships as in like boyfriend. I mean relationships as in like sex, friendship, general sex. Yeah, all of it combined. So it's just like I it's interesting to me that you say that men don't have this, that they like have guys in their life, or they don't have women in their life that they just like put in the friends. Like, guys don't have a friend zone, essentially, is what you're saying.
No, but our friend zone is different. So, and I think you probably haven't seen it, but like, so like a guy's friend zone, majority of the time, I feel very comfortable and confident in saying this. A guy's friend zone is normally, I tried to get with you, and you made it perfectly clear that
it wasn't happening.
That you'd rather close your eggs off than have sex with me. Like you couldn't think of anything worse than having sex with me. So I'm like, okay, well, guess that's not happening. So then, yeah, you're in the friend zone then, because like it's cool. Like,
so you're not gonna harbor feelings of like, oh, I wish this is what you're saying.
Oh no, I probably would, me personally.
So then, what's the friend zone? Just you got denied. That's the friend zone.
Friend zone is I got denied, or we got it in and we tried, and we are both smart enough to know that this ain't gonna work for whatever reason. We're both to this. We're both to that. Like, whatever the reason is, it was attempted. It's very clear. It's a consensus within the inner circle. That ain't gonna work. And so you squash it. Then okay, we put you in the friend zone. We cool. We out. But like, as far as just like,
this is interesting.
We're out here hanging out, and it's like, okay, I just like, let's say you bring some cutie pie around, right? Mm-hmm. We start talking. I'm not just gonna place her in the friend zone, like.
Right, like women do this.
Like,
that's
oh,
what
she's
I'm saying.
cool. Now I will say, when I'm swiping on the apps,
Apps is different. You don't know.
No. There are girls that I see, and I swipe left because I'm like, you look like a friend zone girl. Like, you look cool, but I'm not attracted to you. But I'm sure you're fun. So you're probably like one of the hot girl's friends. And I don't swipe right to use people to get to other people. So it's like, I'm just going to go left because there's no point. So I will say that I see on the app friend zone looking females. But as far as like the actual situation, I'm just going to put somebody in the friend zone just to put them in the friend zone. Like,
see, and women do.
Oh, 100%. Y'all are so rude.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, why do we... I don't know. I do...
Why do you?
Well, I mean, like, it's always for some kind of reason. I mean, like, the reasons change over the years, but like, take my brother's friends, for example. Like, up until recently, it's been because it's like they're younger and they're my brother's friends, and like I'm
for no reason.
Yeah, it's excuses. Like, that is the point of that. I'm agreeing with you that women put guys in the friend zone for excuses, but they always do have, like, there is something in their mind that they feel is legitimate in that moment.
Which is fine.
But I'm agreeing with you that, like, people should question the legitimacy of these quote unquote reasons that they have for putting people in the friend zone, particularly if a lot of time has passed since you've had that reason. So like this guy that has encouraged me in the past month to have this opinion.
Yeah, to not be like that.
We've been friends like a really long time, and it's like I don't whatever way that I was operating my life and whatever reasons I had, quote unquote, in the past for putting him in the friend zone, like, it doesn't matter anymore. I'm living my life a different way now, and whatever that was is immaterial.
So, are you saying that you need to, like, have a different mindset or just age up, like mature, or like...
No, I'm just saying that...
Is it literally just, like, that time has to pass? Like, and there's not a specific amount of time.
No,
but like,
it's not even about time. It's just about the fact that, like, if you find yourself in a situation where you're now more available... Well,
you're never available, accessible.
Who, me? I am available. Let's be clear about that.
I'm sorry, guys. Slide in the DMs. My bad.
I am available.
Accessible was the
accessible
word.
and available are two different things.
I apologize. Dictionary.
No, but
Webster's.
Basically, it's like if you, I mean, I'm relating this back to quarantine specifically.
Yes.
Now, this guy that I hooked up with recently, like, he's one of my good friends. Like, I probably would have hooked up with him even if it wasn't coronavirus. But in the context of quarantines, like, we're in quarantine, we're lonely, whatever, like,
it's rough out here.
You need to evaluate that friends list because, first of all, you already know the person. So there's already, like, you
skip all the small talk, all that, blah, blah, blah.
You can skip a lot of work, emotional labor, time, all the rest of it.
You already know for sure what they look like, how you feel around them.
Exactly.
Like,
you've seen their face in
their
real life.
vibes, like, all that stuff it's done.
Done. Secondly, there's way more willingness from both parties to want to give the other one a good experience, which is a pro anytime, day, week, month of the year. Everyone's more excited about the prospect of impressing the other person because there's shared history there. So that's always a good starting point.
Yeah, you don't want to look bad in front of your friend. That's very true.
And then, thirdly, is that, like, it's always fun to have somebody to, like, flirt with and chop it up, even if you are not, like, seriously pursuing them in a deep relationship or not even trying to hook up with them that night. Like, if this is your friend, that's, like, the beauty of it is that this vibe that you have going, this mutual, like, attraction and whatever, is going to continue beyond that night for the better. And, like, as long as, and this is where we start to get into caveats, but as long as both people are, like, on the same page about the situation, whether it's serious, not serious, or whatever, then, like, you can flirt and have this, like, energy between you way beyond the night that you actually hook up. And that's, like, always fun to have that person around that you are going to flirt with.
I can't wait till we get big time so we can, like, have a full production. Because right now, if I was a producer, I'd be dropping the I'm a flirt song right now. I'm a flirt. But yes, no, I don't disagree with that. Like, as far as the vibes, I will say it is different for guys because a lot of times the whole like what you're talking about, that kind of like innocent flirting, it doesn't get received well.
Yeah, I hear you.
So it's like they're like, oh damn, like you just trying to whatever they think, which isn't necessarily what the actual goal is. I don't think we get on the same page, guy to girl, in the same way that female does the other way.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you're like, oh, yeah, no, we going to vibe out here, da-da-da. And it's like, I'm going to kind of make it clear based on what I say. But a guy may say the exact same thing the other way, thinking that that's how it is. And a girl will be like, oh, wow, you dirty dog or something. You know, like they might look at it in a different way.
Or if they're not annoyed, they might be like very removed because they're not trying to
like,
encourage
I'm
you
put
when
off
they don't.
like in that way.
Yeah.
Like, which again, it's fine. However you feel is how you feel. Like that's.
I mean, that's always a possibility, but I would say two things to this. First of all, I would encourage women to stop taking it all so seriously. But second of all,
so serious.
I've also been in a situation where me being the like really outgoing one, or really like, I wouldn't really describe myself as carefree, but other people describe me as that. Like I've been in a situation where a guy thought that I was more things were gonna happen than were gonna happen, just because I was being like very flirty and open and like, oh yeah, this is fine, like we're in a group, like whatever, and then they thought it was something else, and I was like,
which I totally understand, like those misconceptions or misunderstandings, they definitely do happen. Honestly, very often, frankly. So I would say, to everybody, try to make it a little more clear. Like if you're gonna do the flirting, make sure that there is a level you're ready to go to with that person, or
at least just like try to. You have to suss out whether you guys are on the same page or not. Like you have to like. I don't know. Like that was going to be one of my caveats. Like one of the caveats is that like because you guys are friends, there's a high probability that one of you is going to catch feelings, and whether or not that's you or whether or not that's the other person, it can be bad either way. If it's you, then like obviously that's going to suck for you if you like really like start to catch feelings for this person and they don't feel the same way about you, and then you're like, oh, what do I do? Am I going to lose my friend? Like blah blah blah. If it's the other person, it can be equally as bad because they're like really like you and you feel bad because they're your friend and you have like a certain level of respect for them, but you're not interested in pursuing something more serious with them for whatever reason it is. Whether it's because you're just not looking for it or you're not into them. It
could be anything.
Yeah,
but that's I think kind of why I was saying like. You don't start that shit, or how that's a great philosophy word. Don't start no shit, won't be no shit. And like, you need to know right off jump, like when you start flirting with whoever that friend is, that you have some kind of end game in mind.
Right.
So if the end game is just sex, then yeah, you can kind of be little flippant,
but
whatever.
Also you should evaluate, like this person's your friend, so you have some knowledge of them already. So
correct.
Don't pursue a fuck buddy situation with your, or I guess it would be more applicable to say friends with benefits in this case.
Correct.
Don't pursue friends with benefits with them if you know they're not the type of person that's going to be doing that.
Able to handle that. And that's the thing. You should know. So like
you should know. Yeah, you should. So don't be an idiot.
Yeah. Don't start no shit, won't be no shit. That's exactly what I'm saying. So that's really the point. But like, I don't know. When you first brought this up, talking about how you were very for this, I was like, I don't know. But I'm not gonna lie, you make some good points. Like, it makes sense. But now it just makes me think about my friends list, and I'm like, oh, my friends list sucks. Like, that ain't gonna work out. Like, that ain't gonna work out.
Okay, I would introduce another caveat is that you also have to be careful that them, if you're open to something happening between you and a friend, you have to know what it's going to mean in the future if they or you brings another more serious partner into the friend dynamic.
Yeah. So they get a real relationship.
Yeah. So like if they get a more serious partner and they're bringing that person around you, like, is that other person going to be threatened by your friendship given the fact that you guys hooked up?
Well, I mean, unless they know, which I assume if the relationship gets to a real point, then they're going to find out. Then no, they shouldn't be threatened because as far as they know, they sleeping with them and we just homies.
Yeah.
But again, being a seasoned vet as I have, seeing around so many different relationships, I see that people aren't always very good at that.
Right.
Especially when it comes to someone they've most likely recently slept with. Mm-hmm. And then now, here comes this person I'm trying to be romantically involved with, and I'm talking to them.
And I'm not suggesting that you should just, like, once you get in a relationship with somebody, you should reveal your entire sexual history. I'm not suggesting that
it should
at all.
be. That's why I'm saying it should be deeper, like, before you say anything.
Right.
So, like, if this is just somebody, like, you hook up with your friend, then you match with somebody on Tinder, you go on, like, 2 dates. They don't even know that you slept with your friend. Even if they meet your friend on the third time you guys are out doing one of the Kristen dates, the club, the club dates. Like, that doesn't... It's not necessary. It's irrelevant. But I do think that if it's been a couple months of you clearly now only sleeping with this other person and not your friend or anybody else for that matter, I mean, well, first of all, let's be real, especially for y'all females, because y'all are the goddamn CIA. Y'all gonna pick up on it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's a high probability that it's gonna get found out, particularly if it's me, because I can't.
Y'all are gonna pick up on it. So it's like, and I don't think this is the responsibility of whoever the friend that is not now a part of the thing. It's the responsibility of the person that's sleeping with this new relationship to express this. But yeah, they're gonna be able to pick up on it. It's not hard. Like,
right.
I don't think I've ever been shocked about like two people like hooking up, like if I've been around them enough. Like it's not hard. So they'll pick up on it if they're around long enough. But again, they need to be around long enough to
and it's not a deal breaker. Like it's not like don't even consider your friends just because might become an issue in the future.
If you want a virgin, I got somebody for you. But otherwise, come on now, we in the real world. So it's like, I mean, I'm just saying, like, be cognizant of these things before, like, on the one hand, I'm like, you should definitely hook up with your friends, which I 100% believe. On the other hand, I'm like, she's a tried and true member.
Yeah, don't use that as just like an excuse to like do reckless ass shit that you're gonna regret later. You don't want to be ruining your friendships with these people. They're your friends. So on the one hand, it's like that's what ensures that you hooking up with them won't ruin anything because you're friends. It should just bring you closer, ideally, in your friendship.
Yes.
But there are things that can occur. You have to be ready for those scenarios in which something might not go as well as you would have hoped.
Correct. It's possible that it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's fair.
But in general, I'm very for it. In general, I think it's a really good plan. And it's interesting to me to hear like the whole like men don't have like friend zone, like a running list in their mind. Well, because women do.
All right, so the last thing you wanted to hit was...
the last thing I got to bring up is the friend that lives out of town, because this is actually like we've been talking about all the caveats, right, of like people the friends you should like think a little bit more closely about, right?
This one I will say I think is the number one. Like, you gotta do it.
You gotta do it. Like literally, there is nothing more ideal than the friend that lives out of town to hook up with, because all the pros that we already said, plus. There's not going to be any question. Like, not any, but there's much less question of like, what is this going to be? Because they live out of town, or if you live out of town and you're just then in for the weekend or whatever it is.
Correct.
Like, this is like the dream friend hookup scenario.
The way you are like salivating about talking about this, I feel like I gotta ask, like, how many times have you done this?
I mean, I don't know. Not like I don't have a number off the top of my head. It's not like an absurd, like, this is my MO type thing, but...
Hey, do you? I'm just... You're looking real excited about this. I've lived in
California twice.
Correct.
So, like, I have friends that don't live here.
And isn't that so convenient? And when you were in California, you have friends that lived here. And isn't that so convenient?
Yeah, but now I live here again. Luckily, that never came to bite me in the ass. That like it was like, oh, I don't live there anymore, and now I do live here again, and it's like, oh shit. But no, luckily that panned out.
Yeah, you made sure that worked out. Yeah, it worked out all right.
I snuck away with that.
No,
okay.
I'm not gonna lie. When you brought this one up, I was like, it oddly makes the most sense because it's like, if I'm going out of town, let's just say like I'm going to Arizona.
Yeah.
And just for the record, I don't have any female friends in Arizona that I can get with. Like, they're all with people.
You're like, let me be clear before all my female friends in Arizona are like, wait, what the fuck?
All my female friends in Arizona already got people. So
you want to get put on the friend zone list forever, okay?
I know, right? But like, if I go to Arizona, it would be so much nicer to know like that I had a friend out there that like now I can, I could probably hook up with.
Yeah.
To add to my little vacation experience.
Right.
As opposed to, like I told you before, my little rule about, we pay the extra for the apps only on vacation.
Right, because like vacation, you want to get laid on vacation, right? Like that's for sure part of it in most vacations.
Yeah, I wouldn't understand a vacation other than a holiday one, I guess, with family, but
family or like when I went to Disney World with my mom. Like that's not like a hookup vacation. Yeah.
Oh, actually, no, I'm not gonna lie. I would love to hook up at Disney World. Like, that sounds like actually, now I'm putting that on the list.
Disney World was one of my favorite vacations of all time.
I'm gonna have to put that on the list. Hooking up at Disney World, I'm here for it. They say it's the most magical place on earth.
You're the one that was talking shit about me when I said that Disney World is like one of my favorite fucking places. I love Disney
I don't
World.
know if I talk shit.
Oh my God.
I just said I ain't never been there.
Dude, I'm obsessed. I love Disney World. Like I will go any day.
But
in fact,
but you never hooked up there?
No, because the most recent time I was there again, I was with my mom. And then the other times I was like pretty young. Like it wasn't going to be a thing.
As someone who's traveled overseas and had to not let my dad into a hotel room because there was a female in the room. He thought I was actually, I don't know if he thought I was drunk or not, but he just like, he'll never hear this, so I don't care. But,
but when I say I was with my mom, I'm not saying that I wouldn't hook up with somebody while I was on vacation with my mom because, as you know, my mom's my best friend. Like, she wouldn't even be worried about it.
You just didn't.
No, it's not even that I just didn't. I don't think you understand. Me and my mom we were there for 4 days. We were in the park from 9 to 11 9 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Y'all was being big children. Y'all was out there
4 days in a row. Like there was no opportunity for this.
Y'all was too busy. By the time it was okay. So yeah, no. I mean, I would definitely go to Disney World, but like I'm gonna hit Galaxy's Edge.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm done.
We were in Harry Potter World for 12 hours, dead ass.
Yeah, but no, I'm totally here
for the out of town hookup.
Make your thing, like, because it just makes everything easier. Because first of all, if you have a friend out of town, like, at least I'm that friend where if someone comes into MN and they hit me up, I'm going to set up everything for them as much as I can.
Exactly.
Because I'm like, hey, you need somewhere to, I mean, obviously Lockdown, we out here, but like, you need a place to stay, I got you. You need a place you need to go for things I don't even eat. Like, you need a sushi place, I'll give you recommendations. You need a club, like, I got you. Here's a like, yeah. I will make sure that you, like, I can add to your trip without adding to your bill any way that I can. Mm-hmm. So I kind of expect the same for most of my friends in turn. Mm-hmm. But now, like, hey, if you cute, you can come get this dick too. Like, I mean, let's be real.
This is like one. I mean, for women,
that's
it's just
a
like
win.
This is one step below. And you were talking shit about me, but I've actually never done this more. Like, I feel like this might actually even be more commonplace.
Was I talking
for women. Shit? Of like how you were saying, how often do you do this? Go out of time.
That was just a question.
Okay. But in any case, the women like have this like the ideal situation is they're flying you out on their dime. So that's like the actual like best thing ever, which I've never done.
Oh,
but this is like a common thing that I in circles with women I know of, that women are like, yeah, if he's flying me out, I'm going, yeah.
Oh, okay. So, because this goes into something I'm sure we'll get into on another episode, but It sounds a lot like a sugar daddy.
Well, sure, but it
What
doesn't
do you
have
mean?
to
Well,
be,
sure. Like,
well, a flight. I mean, a flight's not that. It doesn't take a sugar daddy to pay for a flight.
well, not right now in quarantine because all the airlines losing money. So yeah, I'll fly anybody out right now. Like shit, but like. Nah. You're talking about previously. You're talking about
You better call your friend.
pre-quarantine.
You better call your girlfriends. I got you in the friend zone in Arizona. If you're talking about I'll fly anybody out right now, they might reconsider their position if you be saying that stuff.
They will not. Trust me. That's not a thing. And I didn't say I was in the friend zone. I said they had things.
I know. I was just giving you a hard
But
time.
in the other states, I might have to call it back, though. You're right. But
I'm telling you, women love the idea of getting flown out. They love it. They do. I do. I've never done it, but
see, that sounds.
your face when I said
I know.
that.
I'm like, that
You were
sounds
just
like all the mistakes in the world, but it sounds like something I'll probably have to test.
Now, another common trope of this like concept though is that it doesn't go well.
Yeah.
Like it's like at least 50-50, if not more like 65% of the time, it ends up bad.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to try this out. I'm gonna have to fly somebody out here.
I'm telling you, you should do it, particularly in quarantine. That's the other thing I was gonna say to wrap up the episode is that like in quarantine, like not that you should take it. It's not about taking advantage of the situation. It's just that everybody is reevaluating their fucking position in life, and it's like if you have that person that you've always like secretly harbored feelings for or wanted to hook up with or whatever it is, like shoot your shot with that person. You should go for it because in quarantine. Everybody is way more receptive to the idea of everybody else.
I just want everybody to know
isolated.
that Kristen got me out here thinking of whether I should buy this Xbox or flew somebody out.
Choose between the Xbox
I'm
and the
like,
pussy.
man, the Xbox still looks so sexy, but oh man, my head. Ooh, you've got me.
And it's a great time to do it now too because there's nothing to do. So like you're gonna be spending all your time.
Yeah, they stuck with me. That's man, I did not think about that.
Yep.
Like again, I still think that's a sugar daddy situation, which I would never want to be, but you make a very compelling point, madam. One that I'm going to have to evaluate.
I can't believe you've never thought of this. Did you like?
I would. Okay, well, first of all, oddly enough, maybe stupidly enough, I don't think I would ever fly a female friend out if I wasn't expecting them to sleep with me.
I mean, I don't know.
So,
I mean, yeah, like I wouldn't put it in those terms, but I would say that
that's
like
the only terms that I can put it in. Like if
you just know, you know that the attraction is mutually there. So it's not like you have some expectation that like somebody random is asleep with you. It's more just like you wouldn't even do it if you thought that wasn't it wasn't gonna happen. Like there's a mutual. Also, you know that if she's smart, she wouldn't say yes unless she was like interested in sleeping with you. I wouldn't. If some guy wanted to fly me out, if I wasn't interested in sleeping with them, I'd be like, nah, I'm good. I'd make some excuse.
No, you just made this whole soliloquy about how you love to get flew. You'd love to get flowed out. Like everybody.
I didn't
loves
say
to
I'd
get
love
flowed
to.
out.
I said I've never done it. I said that's a common thing that women like. I mean, yeah, I would be into it if I was like, oh, for sure, I'm gonna fuck this guy. Which for me might be
she got me
more.
See, people, she got me all hyped, and now she's like kind of coming back around.
No. I'm not discouraging this. I'm just saying that it's in my mind, it's like a good benchmark. Like because to your point, a lot men a lot of the time are like for the most of the period thinking like it's not like do I want to sleep with you? It's like can I sleep with you? If you ask a woman, say I'm gonna fly you out. Women don't say yes unless you're interested in the guy and hooking up with him, in my opinion. So you should be using that as like more positivity of like she should be if she's not.
All right, people.
You see what I'm saying?
I hear you, and it sounds like there's only one way to find out. We're gonna have to do an experiment.
We're gonna have to put it to the test.
We're gonna have to do an experiment. It's gonna cost me a pretty penny. I'm gonna miss that Xbox, but it's okay. It's gonna be worth it. I'm gonna figure it out. Okay.
Yeah.